Hey there, everybody. Meteorologist Noel Bergen here. It's just around 3:05 on a Friday afternoon. Hope you've had a great day out there so far today. We've got some really good weather on the way for the weekend. In fact, it's going to be a stupendous Saturday and Sunday. We are looking at temperatures that are going to peak probably somewhere into the middle 80s on Saturday and Sunday, and it's looking oh so nice heading into Thanksgiving. So the good news here is we've got warmth to talk about for the weekend. I hope you've had a great Friday so far. 84, 85 or so both Saturday and Sunday with a blend of clouds and some sunshine. And it's looking like warm conditions as well as we head into the day on Sunday. Let me know where you're watching from. If you have a question, a comment, or a concern, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Fox Local. Hope everybody has had a great day out there to start off this Friday. Let me take you outside right now, and we'll look at some cameras across Central Florida. So here is the live view from Titusville. That is not Titusville. That is actually the High Sierra of Yosemite Park. I'd love to know how that camera got in there. So that is not Titusville. Let's go to the port camera. This one should be something from Florida. There you go. Actually, this is the Grills camera. Everything's all mixed up today. So here is the Grills Lakeside camera. Just a beautiful Friday. Now, there are a few more clouds than what it looked like there was going to be, but no rain. You can see the palms there in the foreground. Things are nice and calm. We're not really tracking much of anything out there for tonight. So here across Florida, things are dry and good. There's nothing to look at in terms of rain on Storm Tracker radar. Pulling things out, you can see there's this little veil of clouds zipping on by in this northwesterly flow, just like this. You see a little bit of cloud cover here. It's kind of masking the sun a little bit in Central Florida. But there's high pressure still over the Gulf, which is why these clouds are moving in the manner that they are into and over Orlando and Central Florida out there right now. So further out to the south and in the deep south, you can see there are some clouds here from New Orleans up to Nashville and Atlanta. Also back towards Columbia. Have fun, Laurel. And we're going to be tracking some of these showers for Sunday, but we're not really expecting rain. What we're going to get out of these showers, hello everybody on Facebook and YouTube. Keep the comments coming. I'll show you some of them on the feed here in a second. And then we'll get to the question of the day. I think I have not included the question of the day as much as Laurel and TJ have, but we will get to that maybe in about 3 minutes. So we'll have that for you too. So these showers here in the deep south, these are going to come by on Sunday, and they'll just bring some clouds. Might even turn briefly kind of cloudy on Sunday as these showers in the front come by. But the way it looks right now, I really don't think there's going to be much of any rain to talk about here in Central Florida the way it looks right now. So in the grand scheme of things, things look pretty good.
You all set, Luke?
I haven't even done that. That's totally separate from this. Yes.
All right, stand by.
My charity. I haven't even done that yet.
So there's the water vapor imagery. Sorry about that. I can't get this to click past this. There we go. So look at all the dry air over Florida. And this is what's going to help keep the rain chances zero here through Friday. And it's just very dry across Florida right now. All the weather systems continuing to track up and over the ridge and into the western parts of the United States. So let me know where you're watching from. Do you have a question, a comment, or a concern? Pull up some of your comments here. On the 21st, my favorite candy cane tie. Andrea, love that. Appreciate you watching, Andrea. I was actually shooting a promo for Christmas, so that's why the and appreciate that. This was for a Christmas promo I was doing before work here just a little bit ago. So yeah, we are looking at really good weather into the weekend. There's really not much to track. So let's just throw up the question of the day here. What are your weekend plans? Let's hear them. Let's hear them. Let's hear them. Let's hear them. Let's hear those weekend plans. And I want to give you a personalized forecast for your weekend plans. So, we're going to take a quick break here on Fox Local and on YouTube and Facebook for 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Then we'll talk about your weekend forecast and then Thanksgiving here in much more detail. Stay with us on our web stream on Fox Local. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. All right, so we are back here on Facebook, YouTube, and Fox Local. What are your weekend plans? That is the question that I want to know today. What are your weekend plans? Let's hear them, shall we? We want to hear your weekend plans. Bring them on, bring them on, bring them out. Let's do it. Where are your weekend plans? Let me pull them up here on social, so let's hear them. All right. Staying warm, Phyllis. It's not that cold, is it? Afternoon, you are late today. What are you doing on this beautiful weekend? I love your tie. You had Thanksgiving luncheon today. No, I was actually doing a holiday themed promo today, hence the tie, which is always very nice. So let's pull up some of the comments here. I'd love to hear from all of y'all. Got a good one here from Magale. Delgado going to an outdoor market. That's exciting. That sounds nice. Where's the outdoor market? I love a good farmer's market, especially on a weekend morning. If they have a good cold brew black, I will be there definitely. So that is good stuff there. All right, so temps tomorrow. Speaking of which, for the weekend, probably about 84 in Orlando. I might change that to 85. We'll see. Probably something like 83 Sanford, 84 in Winter Haven. Great, the theme parks tomorrow. Here are the afternoon highs over the next 5 days, and notice 84 seems like a good bet through Monday. A little bit of a dip on Tuesday, and then back to 84 or so by next Wednesday. All right, let's take a look at the Futurecast. Pull up the Futurecast here. Let's get this cooking. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. Delete this. Like this, like this. All right, so here's the Futurecast. This is the Fox model. This is the Fox model. Let's take a look. So here we go. Maybe some storms overnight in Nashville down to like Starkville, Mississippi. Probably about it in the southeast, so really not even much there to track. High pressure over the Gulf. That front slides to the east. But notice by the time the front comes in here on Sunday, there's just an increase of clouds. Look right here. Just kind of briefly cloudy Sunday morning as this front swings down. And that's what will briefly lower the temperatures for Monday and for Tuesday of next week. And then that moves out, and then we'll watch the next system building across the central southern plains Monday into Tuesday. And then this eventually will be the cold front that, wow, Fox model is quite aggressive with a blizzard up in North Dakota. I don't think I buy that, but that will end up being the front that comes into play for Thanksgiving and for Black Friday at the end of next week. So let me put the wind velocity streams on here. Change this over to our tropical longer range model. So here we go. So this is Tuesday of next week. So what you're looking at and what we're focused on is this line of rain right here. There's a big storm here and then a front that's coming off of it like that. And notice this is as far out as the model goes. Yeah, but even by Wednesday, I mean, there's not even a lot of rain here. This is a really big wound up upper level low. Like, wow. Huge low there. Actually interesting how you would probably draw that surface map. You'd probably even make the argument it's kind of double fronted. Synoptically that doesn't make any sense, but it's kind of like that. Sorta, kinda. But yeah, that's what we'll watch heading into Thanksgiving. So let me pull up the models here. Appreciate all of you watching on Facebook, YouTube, Fox Local. Hope you're having a great Friday so far. Let's get into the longer range data here. Not a lot going on across the country. You know, things are pretty quiet today. Really pretty quiet. So let's get into the long range stuff. I gotta log in here. Hope everybody's doing good. Do you have any fun weekend plans? It's the second to last weekend of college football regular season already. Can you believe that? Not a lot of good games this weekend. I think next weekend's going to be a great weekend. You've got the game, obviously. I look forward to watching that every year, Michigan and Ohio State. That'll be a weather game. You've got the Iron Bowl, Alabama, Auburn next weekend. Weather will be impacts at all of those games 2 days after Thanksgiving. So let's pull up the long-range charts here for Orlando. So here you go. So these are the this is the blend of the models, and notice we do get a cool down here. This is what we call the NBM, so the national blend of all the models. And notice these are the highs and lows. We're into the 80s. This is right here Wednesday, Thanksgiving, about 80. And then we do go into the low 70s for next weekend. So it is going to get a little bit cooler, but certainly not chilly, even for Florida standards out there today. So we'll see what happens, but it definitely looks like towards the end of next week there'll be a brief cool down by Thursday night into Friday. So the longer range stuff, here's the GFS model. Notice mid-70s next weekend. Here's the Euro, mid-70s next weekend. So yeah, you see the cold is not even really that major. Here's the Canadian model. Yeah, I mean, it's not even really that much. So let's get into the data here. Here would be the GFS model. There goes your storm from Monday into Tuesday of next week, with maybe a blizzard in North Dakota, South Dakota. That's a change. I don't think that was there yesterday. Not to that extent. But yeah, this looks like maybe some, well, that would be a lot. Wow. Maybe some rain here. What's the GFS say? Maybe a few Thanksgiving showers, but it doesn't even really look like that much. Let's put the rain total on here. Here's the 12-hour rain. So there's Wednesday, maybe a few showers Wednesday. Here's Thursday, a few showers in the front, move south, going into Black Friday. So yeah, it doesn't really look like much. Let's go towards the European model. And notice yeah, it doesn't really look like much. It doesn't really look like much out there. I don't really see that much for rain. Looks pretty good. Here is the, let's take a look at the polar vortex. So here's the potential for cold after next weekend, which, yeah, so here's the 1st of December, really big Arctic outbreak into the plains in Texas. Look at that. Right there, look at that huge push of Arctic air down into Texas. Yeah, we'll see what that does. I don't know if it would be that far west. I think it would be more centered in the eastern U.S. But that's the first shot of cold in December that we've talked about a lot that may end up happening. So we'll see what it does. But definitely it looks like in December there's going to be several of these big drops of Arctic air down from the north. Let's take a look at the rain forecast, because we haven't talked about that. Drought is actually really starting to get bad in Florida. Not normally in the end of November do we have drought like this in Florida. So there is the drought across the state. And notice it's really bad up in the Panhandle. We don't technically have any drought in Orange, Osceola, Brevard, Volusia, Seminole, Flagler counties, but we do essentially in every other county of the state, and it is really bad drought up in the Panhandle. In fact, it is exceptional drought by Tallahassee in that deep red. Moderate drought for the Tampa area, and then we don't have any drought here for Central Florida. So what does this mean? Well, generally once you get into these levels like this up here, you get water shortages, burn bans, notices on your door to not run the dishwasher during the day, in the laundry. It's really significant water shortages, but that's really a small area up in here. But the drought is expanding. You know, this is not good to go into a La Nina winter already this dry, because generally we know La Nina winters end up producing very little rain in Florida relative to average. And when you talk about less rain than average in winter, when we already average little, wildfire, brush fire risk definitely is going to be something that could become an issue here sooner than later into early 2026. So the rain is a percent of normal in the past 30 days. Again, I've showed this a few times, and it's still true. Outside of literally the two bullseyes here of Mount Dora and Eustis in Titusville, there ain't been no rain. And those areas are about 300% of normal still. It's actually off of a color table, which is why it says 0. But it's about 3 times the normal rain the past month. Eustis, Mount Dora, Titusville, and the rest of the state, it's barely rain. I mean, look at Tampa. 5% of the normal rain. You go over towards Gainesville, 11. You go down here, down towards Miami, it's 2% of the normal rain. So, I mean, there is a lot of dryness in Florida and the southeast, but this is what is expected in a La Nina, is very dry in the southeast. Now, the interesting thing is in La Nina, generally you see this part of the country right here with the greatest rain departure above normal. And not everywhere in there has yet. That's just generally how the pattern sets up. Ironically, it's been Las Vegas to San Francisco and Los Angeles that have been hammered with rain. Very much more of an El Nino look than a La Nina look out there. So kind of a little bit of a mixed signal here, but anywhere south of this line is going to stay really dry this winter, is what it looks like. So we'll see what ends up happening here over the next few weeks. So yeah, the forecast for Thanksgiving here locally, it's good. Maybe a shower or two, I guess. But this still looks like a good call for Thanksgiving with low 80s. Front's going to get close. There might be a few showers. I would not cancel plans. I would not worry about plans with that. All in all, it looks fine. But the blend of cloud and sun. And then the temperatures after Thanksgiving should get a little bit lower. We'll be talking about maybe like middle 70s for highs. Black Friday into next weekend, but the weather should end up being fine. Thank you for sharing this important information. You're welcome. Hi, Simon. I'm from England, and we're having a cold snap at the moment. Daytime temps struggling to reach into the 40s. Who's that talking in the background? That is Miss Luann Sorrell. She's recording something for the holidays, William. We're sharing the same space, so Miss Sorrell is Mrs. Sorrell over there is recording something for a later date right now. All right, so yeah, Thanksgiving looks pretty good. Not really talking about much of an issue here right now. So I appreciate all of you watching here on Facebook, YouTube, and Fox Local. I'm going to go get ready for the News Edge at 5, 6, 10, 8, and 11. I will see you there coming up tonight, and we will talk much more about the Thanksgiving forecast and travel conditions coming up on the news. So have a good rest of your day. I got to get everything prepared and make it forecast and all that good stuff. And I'll see you with a much more detailed view of things coming up in the news starting at 5. So have a good rest of your afternoon and have a great weekend. Appreciate all of you watching.